Okay, if you've ever taken an IELTS practice test, you know that feeling, right? The clock is just ticking down, your hand is starting to cramp up, and that little voice of panic starts to creep in, running out of time in the writing section. It's probably the number one reason people don't get the score they really deserve. Well, today we are going to fix that. This quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of the problem. See, the difference between someone who scores high and someone who scores low isn't always about who has the best vocabulary or the fanciest grammar. No, it's about who makes better decisions in those 60 minutes. This is a test of strategy, first and foremost. So, if it's all about strategy, then we have to start by tearing down the biggest, most damaging myth out there. Honestly, this is the trap that almost everybody falls into. So, the myth is this idea that you can just write like a maniac, get everything on the page as fast as possible, and then, fix it all at the end. But the reality? That's just a recipe for disaster. People who nail this test do something completely different. They follow a three-step process. They plan before they write with focus because they have a plan, and they edit systematically. I mean, just think about it. When you save all the real thinking for later, what do those last 5 minutes actually look like? It's not some calm, organized editing session. It's pure panic. It's you trying to fix huge, fundamental problems with your essay, and then time's up. You're left with a mess for the examiner to read. Okay, so let's get to the solution. And this isn't just some vague advice. This is a precise, non-negotiable blueprint for your 60 minutes. This is how you build control into your test right from the very start. And here it is. Just look at this breakdown. For task 1, you've got 20 minutes total. That's 3 for planning, 13 for writing, and 4 for editing. Then for task 2, the more important one, you've got 40 minutes. 5 to plan, 30 to write, and 5 to edit. So why double the time? It's simple. It's worth double the marks. Your time management has to reflect that reality. When you see it like this, as a chart, you really get it. For task 1, planning and editing together make up 35% of your time. These are not optional things you do if you have time. They are crucial, dedicated parts of the process. And the same exact principle applies to task 2. Look at that. A full quarter of your time is spent not writing. That structure, that discipline, that's what keeps the panic away. It's like building your own safety net right into the test. So let's zoom in on the two parts of this strategy that most people just skip. But these two things, they make all the difference. They are your secret weapons for getting a high score: planning and editing. I can already hear what some of you are thinking. Wait, 3 to 5 minutes of just planning? I don't have time for that. But you have to reframe it. Planning isn't a waste of time. It's actually a time saver. It is the ultimate shortcut. And here's why. A solid plan means you know exactly where you're going. You're not going to get stuck halfway through a paragraph wondering, what do I say next? Your ideas are going to flow logically, you'll make fewer mistakes because you're not stressed out, and you will actually write so much faster because you have a roadmap to follow. I mean, just think about the return on investment here. The math is really simple. Would you rather spend 3 minutes planning up front or waste 10 minutes later in a total panic trying to fix an essay that's falling apart? Yeah, the choice is pretty obvious. All right, now for your second secret weapon, editing. But this is not just random editing. This is smart, targeted, high-impact editing. In those last few minutes, you follow this exact checklist in this exact order. Why?
because these are the common mistakes that examiners spot in a heartbeat. You're fixing the things that matter the most.
And this is a really crucial point. You have to understand what editing means under pressure. You are not performing surgery on your essay. You are not changing your main ideas or rewriting entire paragraphs. No, you are polishing. You're looking for patterns of mistakes, like maybe you keep using the wrong tense, and you're just improving the clarity of what you've already written. Okay, so this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and maybe the most important one. It's not just about what you do, it's about how you think. Let's look at the mindset that separates the people who panic from the people who are in total control. This is exactly what happens when you don't follow the plan. It's a domino effect. You spend way too long on task 1. That means you start task 2 late and already stressed. Then your conclusion is rushed. Your grammar starts to fall apart under the pressure, and by the time that 60 minutes is up, your potential score has just quietly slipped away. This table really shows how your editing style reflects your score. A Band 6 writer, well, they edit randomly, maybe catching a few spelling mistakes. A Band 7 or 8 writer is systematic. They're hunting for those bigger structural errors. But a Band 9 writer, they're calm. They trust the structure they already built, so now they're just polishing. And you have to remember this. An examiner can literally feel control in your writing. When an essay is well-structured, logical, and clear, that confidence just shines through the page. And believe me, that absolutely gets rewarded with a higher score. So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this right here. The goal isn't to be the fastest writer in the room. The goal is to be the smartest. This is the winning mindset, boiled down to 3 simple actions. You plan with intention. You know what you're going to say. You write with focus. You follow that plan. And you edit with purpose. You target the errors that will have the biggest impact on your score. Look, at the end of the day, that clock can be your worst enemy or your best friend. With this strategy, you're not just managing your time anymore, you're mastering it. So the real question is, are you ready to make those 60 minutes work for you instead of against you?